take it out. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to take it out so I can move around. So homecoming. My husband and I met at Franklin and Marshall College while we were attending it. So when we moved back here in 2003, it was a homecoming of sorts. We had moved 5 times together since we left Franklin and Marshall College. The last 3 with 2, 3, and then 4 toddlers in tow. And so as we were moving back, the way I got through the move was, we're never moving again. Kid got sick, we're never moving again. Dishes got broken, we're never moving again. And then we got settled. And then we got settled, and then we're never moving again. And that, anybody who's ever been in that situation, I think it gives you a little pause, right? Oh man, we're never moving again. And so it induced a period of reflection back on my life previous to never moving again. And I had a lot of happy memories, and I had a few things that I had a little worry about. So when I looked back along the timeline of my relationships, there was a very beautiful, sparkly beginning. I'd had a lovely first love. We had parted amicably because of time and distance, and it sort of had a little sparkle on it. And then there was the last 15 years of my life that I married the man that I should have married, and the yin to my yang, a wonderful husband, a beautiful father. He's on the way back from bringing his father to Colorado, who's 89, to visit his brother, so a really top-rate person. And that was beautiful. But there was this 3 years in the middle that happened to coincide with most of my college career while I was here in Lancaster. That was part of why I was thinking about it, that were just kind of flat. And they weren't flat in the absence of a relationship. I had regrets about that period of time because they were flat in spite of a relationship. And a relationship with a really totally nice person that there was nothing wrong with, that at the end of 2.5 years, I just woke up one day and I was like, oh my God, I can't marry this person, and I left. And I felt sad about that, admirably, because I think I broke his heart when I left, and I didn't go back. And less admirably, because I remembered that during college I had a few opportunities with other people during that relationship that might have added a little sparkle to that part of my life that I didn't take advantage of. And when I was back and I was getting settled, I was driving one day down College Avenue to go to Lancaster Regional. I'm a physician, and I had to sign some credentialing paperwork. And so I was driving by what at Franklin and Marshall used to be Fraternity Row, and that evoked one particular memory for me of this relationship. I had one time in the middle of that 2.5 years that I dated, we'll call him Rebound Man, because in retrospect, that's clearly who he was for me. I had broken up with him. I must have had some premonition that this was coming, and I broke up with him. I remember it was a Saturday morning, and I went back to the house. I had 5 roommates, and they're like, yes, you're single, that's it, we're going out, it's going to be a great time. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right, we're going out. And they said, we're going to go to Gamma Gamma Gamma, also a fake name. And I'm like, oh, you know what? We can't go to Gamma 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 tonight. And they're like, why? Come on, it's going to be fun. That's the best party. And I'm like, well, so let's call this guy College Heartthrob. So College Heartthrob is a member of Gamma Gamma Gamma, and I think that he likes me. And they're like, what? And I'm like, no, really, he's my lab assistant. I kind of know him, and I think he likes me. Well, they're like, Beth, that's ridiculous. And I was like, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right, that's ridiculous. He was a very smart guy, he was very attractive, wore muscle t-shirts that got everybody a little excited, and it was actually pretty ridiculous that he liked me. I wasn't unpopular in college, but I was not the kind of person that college heartthrobs, pined away across a chemistry lab about. So I'm like, all right, you're right, that's silly, we should go. So we go, and to my surprise and the amazement of my girlfriends, College Heartthrob says, Beth, oh my God, you're here! And he grabs me by the hand, he pulls me on the dance floor, my girlfriends are... And we had actually a really lovely time. The muscle t-shirts up in the proximity that were involved in having a conversation in fraternity party didn't lose any of their shimmer. And we had a lot in common. He was applying to med school, I was thinking about applying to med school. I spent a very pleasant, probably hour and a half in his company, and we probably had both gotten to the point in the evening where something maybe was gonna come of it. And Rebound Man walked through the party. And I caught his eye, and I saw his face, and it wasn't good, and it was too soon for me to be having a good time with somebody else. And suddenly, I was literally the most wretched person on the earth, and I felt absolutely horrible. And I said, oh my God, I think I used one of my girlfriends. I said, you know what, she looks really drunk. I really have to go and take her home. And I ran out of there, and I felt so wretched that I made up with him the next morning. And we went out for another year before I broke his heart, which was just horrible. Like, I think back on that, I'm just like, that was so stupid. Like, if I just would have stayed broken up with him, I would have had some sparkly places in there with College Heartthrob, and I wouldn't have broken his heart a year and a half later. And I was still musing on this as I got to the medical staff office to sign my credentials, and as I'm waiting for the paperwork, I'm flipping through the staff directory, Dr. College Heartthrob. Oh my God, what are the chances? I literally had not thought or seen about him in 15 years, and he ends up at the same place that I am going to be working 15 years later, looking no worse in a suit and tie than he did in a muscle t-shirt. And I was just like, cosmically, what are the chances of that? And then, oh my God, I felt dizzy as I got this view, not from the muscle t-shirt, I got dizzy from the view of this alternative universe that might have transpired had I not gone home alone that night, had I not seen him across the fraternity party. I might have married the wrong man. I might have had not my beautiful children, somebody else's children, and I might have lived a totally different life. I was like, goodness, like I had regretted that, and that 3-year period was totally necessary for me to get where I needed to be. That glance across the fraternity party that I had regretted was the thin thread that was holding me on the path that my life needed to take. And suddenly, regret was gratitude.